All right, guys, my name is Matt. Welcome to the Sin Bin. So, another day goes by. It's another day without hockey. There's nothing really to talk about. All right, there's no really reason for you guys to listen to me, which makes it very hard for a creator. I'm sort of scrambling ideas, and that explains mostly why I haven't made a video in a long time. But with that being said, I'm trying to be creative, and I think I got a good video idea today, okay? Because when it comes to hockey trades, we like to all pretend we're armchair GMs, right? We like to try to look ahead in time in our crystal ball and say that was a good move or this was a bad move. I'm going to say it. I'm not the type of person who goes without any mistakes. Okay. I'm wrong sometimes. Hell, most of the time I'm wrong. One trade that I've said in the past that I was wrong about was the PK Subban trade. I think the Montreal Canadiens ended up winning it. Now, I'm not going to really talk about that today. I'm going to talk about another trade that I look back on it. And not only was I totally wrong, I just feel bad about it because going back on the video of the original trade, I feel like I was a little bit harsh on, and you guys may have guessed that at this point, Kevin Fiala, the guy next to me. I was a little bit harsh on him, and for that, I wanted to make a video about him. I wanted to flat out apologize to him because as of right now, he is my breakout player of the year. So I know it's not like nothing pertaining to the news because there's no games going on right now. So I really hope you guys are listening to the videos to help me keep putting them out. I hope you guys take a break from masturbating viciously out of boredom just to listen, just so I can get those views up. And without further ado, I'm going to talk a little bit about the trade that I was just totally wrong about. Now, first, before I get into that, the reason why I got the idea of this video is actually because of someone called Darcy Kemper. You can follow him here on Twitter, as you can see on the screen. He actually texted me on Discord. And, oh, by the way, plug, make sure to join the Sinbin Discord, the official Discord. Well, anyway, so this kid messages me. I'm sitting down, I'm watching a movie, The Truman Show, and he says, "Hey, is it okay if I use your voice in one of the montages I'm making?" And I actually have the montage right here. It's a montage pertaining to one Kevin Fiala. This is a little bit of the clip. There you go. You can hear a little bit of my voice. I don't want to play it too long, but in case you guys haven't seen it, make sure to subscribe to D Kemps. Make sure to follow him on Twitter. He's a really good guy, and he makes some really good videos. That is a very professionally made videos. Well, I look back at that video, and I looked at the original video I made about Mikael Granlund. This is one of the first videos I've ever made on YouTube. Look at that goat Arab face. Just, oh my God, I needed to shave so bad. But as you can see, I did not think that the Minnesota Wild won that trade.
There are losers, and then there's the Minnesota Wild. In case you guys don't know what I'm talking about, yes, I am talking about the Mikael Granlund trade.
Okay, so this is sort of unbearable to watch, but it's one of my earlier videos. I don't have the whole setup or anything like that. I don't have a good mic. I still don't have the best mic, but it's better than what it was before. I was not a fan of that trade. I remember, I think it happened at the trade deadline, and there's always seems to be a trade at the trade deadline that just floors me, takes me by complete surprise. This year it was the Vinny Trocheck trade going to the to the Carolina Hurricanes. That's one trade that just got my head scratching because the Florida Panthers are a team that, well, before the whole coronavirus situation, they were in the thick of it. They were in the hunt for the playoffs, and they need players like Vinny Trocheck, in my opinion. Granted, he wasn't having the best season, and his career seemed to be going, nowhere ever since he had that horrific leg injury. But that was sort of a trade that left me head scratching. Now, back in this year, the trade that had me head scratching was Kevin Fiala going from the Nashville Predators to the Minnesota Wilds in exchange for one Mikael Granlund. Now, I can give a little bit more information about that, but first, so we can really evaluate this trade, let's go to the good old Hockey DB and take a look at each player. So when the trade happened, this was in the 2018-2019 season, as you may recall. Kevin Fiala, in 64 games played with the Nashville Predators, he had only 32 points. That's not stellar, okay? That's probably a point every two game, and you're expecting a little bit more because he was a high draft pick, 11th overall in 2014, obviously a first round pick. We're expecting a little bit more, and I know Kevin Fiala personally, well, not personally as a friend, I know him as a player. He's a very skilled player, so maybe that's a little bit more. So when he got traded to the Minnesota Wild, I wasn't expecting his whole career to rebound. I wasn't expecting it at all. Let's look at Mikael Granlund on the other hand. Mikael Granlund, another high draft pick, number 9 overall. One thing that sometimes people don't mention is that there is a 4 year difference in age between these two players. Mikael Granlund being 28 years old and Kevin Fiala actually being 23 years old. So there's a 5 year difference in age that I don't think people talk about enough. And let's also talk about the contract situation. Mikael Granlund, he's making 5.75 million. Kevin Fiala, he's only making 2 million less, but it's still $3 million. Money well spent, if you ask me. So the year that Mikael Granlund got traded, he was having a decent year. All right. He had 49 points in 63 games. I don't have a calculator with me, so I don't know how many points that would have put him on pace for. But the reason why I know a lot of these players, it's not necessarily because I watch all of the games in depth. I don't know if there's a whole lot of people who watch Minnesota Wild games or Nashville Predator games. If there are, I'd like to hear it about you guys. But the reason why I knew a lot about Mikael Granlund is because I drafted him in my fantasy pool. And when I draft a player in my fantasy pool, I make sure to follow him extra carefully because I like to see him live. I like to see if he gets me points. And Mikael Granlund, I ended up drafting him in the 2017-2018 season. That's the season where he got 67 points in 77 games. That's not only good, that's not only great, it's terrific. 67 points in 77 games. That's like first line potential. And I think that year he ended up playing with Eric Stahl, who had another great year. He was also in my pool. I don't know. I was going crazy on the Minnesota Wild players. And they had some really great chemistry. And the year after, maybe he wasn't on the same pace in terms of amount of points, but he was still having a really good season. And then it hit. The trade happened. Why did this trade happen? I had no clue. I had absolutely no clue. The first thing I thought about is that the Nashville Predators, they're sort of a team that every year, ever since they went to the Cup final against the Pittsburgh Penguins, every year they seem to be in the hunt. Every year they seem to be going for it. I know David Poyle, he must really, really want that Stanley Cup. He's been the GM of that team forever. So when I first saw that trade, I thought, okay, I think that Mikael Granlund is a better player at this point, but maybe they're trying to make room for cap space. But then I thought, no, that's impossible because Kevin Fiala makes more money, makes less money. My apologies. So it's not a cap space thing. So what is it? Why did this happen? And I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm still not really sure over what happened. I don't know if something happened behind the scenes in the locker room, if there was an attitude thing, if they didn't see any potential in Mikael Granlund. But in terms of the Minnesota Wild, I didn't see their reasoning for trading a already established player in Mikael Granlund for a guy who, albeit while he is, has a lot of potential, he still wasn't proven. You're trading a proven commodity for someone who, while he might have the potential, he was unproven. So that's something that left me a little head scratching. But now that I look back on the trade and I see that age difference, it makes a little bit more sense for me. It really does make a little bit more sense. And it makes me think that the Wild management, they saw something in Kevin Fiala that maybe us fans didn't see because I'm being a little bit harsh on myself. The other fans didn't see that either. All right. Everyone else was saying the same thing as me. They were saying the Minnesota Wild, what are you doing? Now, the years go by, and obviously this year, let's look at Kevin Fiala's stats, who he's having an absolute bounce back here. In 64 games played, he has 54 points. All right. He's almost a point per game. 42 penalty minutes, by the way, guys. That's something that's a little bit surprising for me. But he's on 20. He had 20 goals. Probably would have been on pace for 30. Having a stellar year, and he is my breakout player of the year. There's also a lot of candidates. I'm gonna make a separate video talking about my breakout players of the years, but I just wanted to put this video out there stating how wrong I was about this trade. Listen, all of us are wrong at some point. So what I want you guys to do, I want you to go in the comments. I want you to tell one trade that you guys were totally wrong about. All right. Don't be embarrassed. Okay. This is a safe space or whatever the kids call it. Talk about one trade that you were just totally wrong about. I'm excited to hear it. And as usual, guys, make sure to subscribe to the Sin Bin. Make sure to like this video just so it can help with the algorithm and everything. And like I said, follow the Discord link. Follow me on Twitter. Make sure to do all of that fun stuff. More videos upcoming. I'm going to try to shoot more. I know I've been sort of lazy. I'm going to try to make more hockey content just so you guys can have something to put under your teeth during this time of crisis. So without further ado, my name is Matt. Keep your stick on the